I'm going to record our session this morning. Why don't we go ahead and settle in for some meditation? I will provide a little bit of guidance for our practice this morning. Please go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture. And then, using whichever method you find most effective, please allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. And when you're ready in your own time, please go ahead and transition into meditation on the inner body. Please become the silent observer of sensations within your inner body. Day after day, year after year, century after century, the mountain observes silently. Snow may fall on the mountain, accumulate, and then disappear. The wind may blow, the sun may shine. Water in a nearby river may turn into ice, and then later turn back into water. The mountain simply observes silently. No judgment, no labeling, no comparing, no expectation. Be like a mountain as you silently observe sensations within your own body mountain. In the Ganges Mahamudra, Tilopa makes the following declarations. Complete liberation from all conceptual extremes is the supreme monarch of views. Boundless vastness is the supreme monarch of meditations. Being directionless and utterly impartial is the supreme monarch of conduct. Self-liberation beyond expectation or hope is the supreme result or fruition. All of these realizations are available to you through meditation on the inner body. Now, please gently allow your consciousness to become less absorbed as you begin to arise from meditation. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation and Dharma talk to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely and permanently free from all forms of mental and physical suffering. May all beings without exception be happy, peaceful, contented, and free. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, friends. So let's get back into our discussion of the perfection of effort. And this is, for the last few classes, I've been providing a little bit of an experiential presentation of the perfection of effort. And for the next couple of classes, we'll get into more of a traditional presentation of the three lazinesses, which are the obstacle to effort. And I was having tea with a friend recently, a tea with a friend who is a member of our Monday, Friday Sangha. And she said, laziness, she said, that's kind of an interesting term. I don't get called lazy very often. And I said, it's that, believe it or not, that's the word that's used in the sutras. That's not me paraphrasing. The Buddha referred to it as the laziness of procrastination, the laziness of being attracted to what is meaningless and non-virtuous, and the laziness of discouragement. So don't shoot the messenger, okay? As we talk a little bit about the laziness of procrastination, I think this is tough love for sure. I think most of us can probably relate to procrastination and the form it takes in different aspects of our life. I'm reminded of a image that someone sent me a few months ago. It's a photograph of a woman who is vacuuming, she has a vacuum cleaner, and she's vacuuming like in the middle of the desert, like this rocky surface, and she's vacuuming in the desert. And the caption underneath says, "Me doing anything except what I need to be doing," something like that. And I can relate to that. Yeah, finding sort of like anything to do other than that which is meaningful. This is tricky for even, it's tricky and can be challenging for all practitioners, regardless of how long they've been on the path. I'm reminded of Alan Spraggins, who's deceased now. Alan Spraggins was, he and his wife Nan were the founder of Seedboat Gallery back a few years ago. And Alan Spraggins, I had known him for several years, but had no familiarity with his meditation background and his history in the practice of Dharma. And one time I was at a little party, I don't know if it was a reception or something at Seedboat Gallery, and I just started chatting with him about his meditation practice and his Dharma education. Turns out Alan Spraggins was one of the original students of Trungpa, of Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, who, if you don't know who he is like one of the giants of Buddhism and one of the very first to come over from Tibet and teach in the West. He had a couple of different centers, one of which was on the West Coast in the Bay Area. And Alan Spraggins was like one of the very first original Western students of Trungpa, which is just, I'm kind of in awe of that. It means a couple of things. It means that he was receiving instructions from a very qualified Lama, and he had been practicing, Alan Spraggins had, for a long, long time. Trungpa Rinpoche, I think, came over to the West and started teaching in the 70s. So this conversation that I had with Alan must have been, I don't know, 2010, something like 2010, 2012, something like that. So practicing a long time. But what Alan said to me is, in addition, one of the things that he shared with me is that even to that day, after the years and years of practice, he said, I have to get out of bed and I have to crawl to my meditation cushion and do nothing else in between. Like no tea, no coffee, no checking email, no nothing. And so my takeaway from that is if Alan Spraggins needs to take that approach and kind of struggles with procrastination, or the risk of procrastination, anybody can. So I'm also reminded of a story that I've told before to this group, I think maybe to both groups, the 2001 or the 2021 and the 2022 groups. It's a woman who also was a longtime meditator, and she lives in Silver City. I haven't seen her in a couple of years, but every once in a while, she's one of these people who floats into my field and then kind of floats back away, and don't see her for a while. And longtime meditator and really, really devoted to her meditation practice. And she told me that she has two meditation times, I think one in the morning and one in the early evening. And she put her family and friends on notice that I am not, this is her talking, that these are my meditation times, and I am not to be disturbed during these times. Not even if someone has died, do I want you to interrupt me. If somebody is in the process of dying, maybe. But if somebody has actually died or anything else, I'm not to be interrupted, period. And I think that's a powerful example for us too, within the context of procrastination or the laziness of procrastination. We can allow ourselves to kind of be distracted and allow our meditation practice to be kind of hijacked by other things. what if you said that, what if you said that between 8:30 and 9 on Mondays and Fridays, and not just days that we get together for this group, but any other time that you have scheduled or set aside for meditation. And if you haven't set aside a designated time for meditation, maybe this is a good opportunity to do so. But what if you said between 8:30 and 9 in the morning, on the days that you meditate, I'm not going to schedule anything else. It might be too tall an order to say, I don't want anybody to interrupt me for anything. We might have children and it's just not realistic. But for others of us, that's not an issue. And we also are kind of masters of our own schedule, right? So what if we said nothing between 8:30 and 9? No doctor's appointments, no will classes. I'm not going to schedule for a will class. Not even if it's if it's a series on the Beatles, on the philosophy of the Beatles, nothing. I'm not going to schedule anything between 8:30 and 9 when I'm meditating and doing Dharma practice. I don't know, maybe give it a try. No work appointments during those times. Does a couple of different things, I believe. One is it blocks that time out, and you don't fill it with any other activities. But I think it also makes a really powerful statement to yourself about the importance of your meditation practice, yeah, and your Dharma practice, your studies, whatever you want to do during this 30 minutes or 45 minutes, maybe longer. It's important enough to me that I'm not going to schedule anything else for it. That will register, I think, at a deep level that goes beyond just blocking out time, kind of making a statement to yourself, an affirmation to yourself about what's important and what matters. So I want to read a little bit from Joyful Path of Good Fortune, which, as I think you know, is an unabridged presentation of Buddha's sutra teachings, including teachings on the 6 perfections and the perfection of effort. I'd like to just share with you what Geshe Kelsang writes regarding the laziness of procrastination. The laziness of procrastination. This laziness is a reluctance or unwillingness to put effort into our spiritual practice right now. For example, if we are interested in Dharma, believe it to be worthwhile, and intend to practice it, but we think that the time to practice is sometime in the future, we are suffering from the laziness of procrastination. This attitude is very harmful because time passes quickly. Don't we know? Because time passes quickly, our opportunities are soon lost, and the duration of our life is uncertain. It's dangerous to think that we shall practice when we've finished our present job, because there are always other jobs to be done. Gungtang Rinpoche said that worldly activities are like an old man's beard. Though he may shave it off in the morning, it's grown again by the evening. Since worldly work is endless, we need to practice Dharma while we are engaged in all our daily tasks. That's really noteworthy there. Since worldly work is endless, we need to practice Dharma while we are engaged in all our daily tasks, bringing Dharma to our lives and allowing it to be an overlay or an integration with everything we do. Meditations on this precious human life with all of the freedoms that we enjoy. Meditations on this precious human life and on death and impermanence are powerful methods for overcoming the laziness of procrastination, because these meditations make us come to a firm decision to practice Dharma right now. So some really powerful words in Joyful Path of Good Fortune on the laziness of procrastination. A couple of things before I let you go. Backing up to this is, by the way, another take-home examination coming up. You'll remember that when we were together on Friday, we talked about our take-home examination was, can we choose? When we encounter a situation that we find undesirable, we have two choices. We can resist or we can accept. And we examined whether we really do have a choice in that moment, whether we really do have a choice. And my view is that we don't have a choice. It's a function of karma. Where we do have a choice is when we plant the seed with our actions and our intentions behind the actions back at the very beginning of that karmic cycle, if you will. Remember the story about the gold coin? The gold coin, and the monk just kind of was being torn between taking the coin and leaving it for somebody who might later find it. That's when the real choice can be made. That's when we have the real opportunity to make a choice, in my opinion, not at that moment when the causes and conditions have ripened and we're having a feeling. So what we said was that what I proposed was that resisting or accepting our feelings that represent the fully ripened effect of karma. Okay. Feelings are the fully ripened effect of karma. And what I said was that the feelings of acceptance or resistance, we don't have a choice between the two when the karma ripens. Your take-home examination question: are resistance and acceptance feelings? Are they feelings? Resistance and acceptance. Are those feelings? And if not, I guess it's a two-part question. If not, what are resistance and acceptance? Okay. We'll revisit this in a few weeks. Last little thing, I ran over a couple of minutes. I'm going to be out of town this coming Friday. So here I am telling you to not schedule anything and block it off for Dharma. And I'm going to be unavailable because I've scheduled something on Friday from 8:30 to 9. So I guess it's one of these do as I say, not as I do. Anyways, thank you for being here, you guys. Have a great day. We will have Medicine Buddha meditation on Saturday, though. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Bye-bye, Linda.